Hello, hello, hello. Let me pop this in here. Hi. Hello, everyone. It is Teresa from Teresa Silhouettes about All Things Art, where I love sharing art from my heart. How is everyone? Hello, hello, hello. Let's fix this. We can get started. Hey, who is here to paint? Did you see what we're painting? We're painting this cute little Mr. Pig Leprechaun. So, are you going to paint with me? You going to paint after me? Let me know. When you hop on, let me know if you're painting live or if you're just here to hang out and chit-chat, and you will paint in your spare time, in your leisure time from the video. So you guys know I keep all of these videos in here. They go into guides. I've been doing these free parties for a year now. Wow, this might be number 12. I think it is, because I think last month was guide number 11. Wow, you guys, time flies, huh? So yes, so they're all in the guides, okay? Let me get comfy. So welcome, welcome, welcome. If this is your first time, let me know. We do have a few newbies, so I'm going to, again, trace this with you guys. I'm making a little bit more room for my screens so I can see what's going on here. When you hop on, say hi. Let me know where you're watching from. I printed out the tracer. It's probably simple enough if you were going to hand draw it. When I hand draw, I'll show you guys a trick too. And I can't draw. I'm not even artistic, y'all. I know, that sounds crazy, right? So I can paint. I can paint certain things. I wouldn't call myself artistic. Am I an artist? Yes, I'm an artist. But we throw these words around. Anyway, yes. So, but I can't draw. But I do have a trick to draw. So say if you don't have a printer or the ability to print out one of the tracers, the easiest thing, or an easy thing to do, is to break it into 4. And I have printed it and I have a piece of paper. But you can do this by even looking at the screen. So you have a picture and you're going to visualize it in 4 pieces. 4 sections. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you look at it a section at a time. And you don't have to draw everything that's on here. I would look at this and I would do in the main part of the hat and the buckle and an ear. Then I would look at the second part, which is the back of the other side of the hat. And I do in this part of the hat. And then I do the shamrock, which is just 3 hearts. And that's how you would go. And you would transfer this drawing, whether you have it in paper and you don't have paper like I do, tracing paper, or you're just visualizing it in quadrants. When you break it down in sections like that, and then you take your canvas and you visualize your canvas in quadrants, it's much easier to draw that way. And it comes much more to size too. Because if you were to just look at this and start to draw it on your canvas, you might not have the positioning or the size just right. But that's another way for you guys to help if you guys need to be a little creative about how you get your designs, there we go, onto the canvas or the surface of whatever it is you're using. So I have out my paints. I have magenta, pink, black, white, a dark green and a light green. I think I have thicket. Yep, thicket, lime green, and a yellow. It's a brand new piece of graphite paper. This graphite paper really comes in handy. So if you don't have any, it's inexpensive at Staples or Amazon. And pick yourself up a couple of sheets. It lasts forever. These are new ones. And the one I just got rid of that I used last time, I did over, and I know I did because I did kits for it, I did over 85 traces with it. Okay? That's a lot. I need a piece of tape. So you could buy 1 piece or a set of 5 of this graphite paper, and you would have graphite paper for a lifetime. So I'm lining up my pig, and I'm going to tape it down just so it stays and holds. And then you can use a pen, a pencil, the back of a paintbrush if you wanted to. Whatever you have that is a hard surface. Now I'm going in and I'm tracing in the pig. Am I doing all the little accent lines? No, we don't need to do that. I'm just doing in the basic shapes. Of his hat, the band and the buckle on the hat. His other ear, of course. I think I'll put this line in here because that's going to be the inside and or the outside of the ear. We need his bow tie, of course. This shamrock, he's holding the stem in his mouth. And if you can see, these shamrocks are hearts. And that is the basic shape of a shamrock. Clover, four-leaf clover. I guess they're clovers unless it's March and St. Patrick's Day. Then there's shamrocks. I'm just doing little circles for the eyes. And then the basic shape of his snout. And I'm going to lift it up. And I'm going to make sure that I got everything. Looks good. Okay then. So I can put this aside. And you can see, I do have a little bit of a glare. I'm still working on that, you guys. Sorry, but we will get painted. Oh, you know what I don't have out? And I probably didn't tell you guys either, and I apologize. Patina. Did I put blue or patina on your list? Ocean View. Where is my patina? Here it is. So, my favorite color. My favorite color for 21-22. So I have some paint out already because I was doing some other stuff today with these colors. I painted these mugs today. What do you guys think? Aren't they beautiful? This is one of the strokes that I teach in the Creative Painters Workshop. And I put it on mugs today. These are going out. These are going to be part of a prize in a group that I'm in. So I just have to wait for the paint to cure and bake them. But this is one of the strokes that I have in the Creative Painters Workshop where we paint this design and learn all the strokes that go into painting something like this. I teach the wiggle leaf, the heart leaf, the one-stroke leaf, this 5-petal flower, like you see here, the sunflower, and daisies. So those are stroke. It's a workshop where I teach you actual one-stroke beginner lessons. And if you'd like some information on that, or if you haven't seen me post about it, put it in the comments and I will throw up the link. Right now I'm just going to get out a little bit of my patina. I have this ocean view too. I might put a little bit of that in there too. Any light blue will do. You can even do your background in like a very light green. That would look pretty. So, you know, I always just make these things a suggestion for you guys. I want you guys to do your art your way. Okay, I'm just going to get my other camera set up, which is great of me to remember because I usually forget. And we will get started, okay? So I'm just loading my brush up with both of these blues. There's not much difference, but once you put them up against the canvas and the white in the canvas, you'll be able to see the slight variations. And again, remember, when I paint, I like to go around my shape. So then I can just go in and stroke and I know exactly where my brush strokes are going to begin and end because I've already outlined a certain portion of my design. And I'm just not blending a lot. I have both colors on my brush. It might look the same to you because of the screen, but I can see the variations, and I can also see a little bit of white coming through from my canvas, and that's okay. White is a color, and we're not going to worry about that. So, and this, you don't have to be any particular way. I like to do the edges. I might fancy up the edges later too, because it looks cool to have fun edges when you hang it on the wall. And while your brush is already dirty with the colors you're painting on the front of the canvas, why not do the sides of the canvas as well? So if you hop on, let me know where you're watching from. You guys all know I'm painting from New York here. And I want to just do a little bit of an outline here. And don't worry if you got to go or you need to take a call and catch up. It's all good because this video stays here for you guys to come back and paint. Maybe paint with your friends. Remember, it is personal use only, though. You can't take the designs from this page and sell them or teach them. But you can have a lot of fun painting them yourself or with family members. Some of my designs are my own, and then some of mine are ones that I pay for and have the rights to use in groups that I'm in. So we have to be careful as makers and artists not to steal each other's work. Not that I'm saying you guys would steal, but I know as an artist, I have to be careful and really pay attention to what I paint, what I teach others to paint, because it is what's called intellectual property. I'm probably boring you with all this information, right? But yeah, you just can't take whatever you want, like Disney, even though people do, and reproduce it however you want and on whatever you want and sell it and make money. People do it every day. And they might think, oh, Disney's got plenty of money, whatever, it doesn't matter, but it does. So I avoid licensed characters, and I avoid using artwork that I'm not supposed to be using. Even last night, I did a form of Starry Night. It's called Starry Snowman at my library. It was a children's class. It was so cute. I should have brought it in here. I didn't. It's in the other room because I haven't unpacked yet. But anyway, so there is a law, though, when artists are dead a certain amount of years, like the famous Vincent van Gogh, that then their art becomes free reign for people to use. So here we go. So I've done my background. And there. Let me just check over here. Alrighty then. Okay. I'm going to put out my, I think I'm going to use, I have my dark green out. I'm going to use emerald green instead. So I'm going to put out, oh, this classic green. I'm going to put out some classic green. I'm going to keep my dark out. And then I have my light out. Because like I said, today I painted these mugs. So I already had out the sap green, the citrus green, and then the magenta and the white and the yellow. So that was on this plate. I'm going to move these before I knock into them. 1 second. Okie doke. So yes, I have put out now classic green. I still have my sap out from before. And citrus green. But like I said, these are only suggestions. I encourage you guys to use the colors that you like. I mean, in this particular case, we are doing a pig. Pigs traditionally are green. And we are doing St. Patrick's Day. So that is traditionally greens and pinks. So we do have a pink pig and green shamrocks. But you know what? You don't have to be tied to that. You can do whatever colors you want. So I'm going to double load with my darks. My classic and my thicket. And again, I'm going to outline my hat. And I'm just going to start filling this in a little bit. Pick up some more paint. I'm going to paint in the hat. Now I could go right over the shamrocks, but I'm not going to because I want my shamrocks, because all this is green up here, right? I want my shamrocks to be a different stroke. Even though they're the same colors, I want to paint my shamrocks with my brush strokes going a different way. So I'm going to hold off on my shamrocks and not paint them yet. And I'm going to use these greens and I'm going to paint horizontally across the hat. Even though it's all the same colors, your brush strokes matter and you will be able to see them after, so it's always a good idea to keep them consistent. And I'm just coming in here, and again I'm doing the brim of the hat. I gotta get a little piece in there. And I'm not worrying about being exact right now. It's just paint. We have so many details to add to this that we're not going to get excited yet or be like, oh no, I messed up. Nope, can't mess up. Can't mess up. Anything is paint. We can fix it later. And again with the bow tie. And these are just base coating again to get our shapes in here. Now a lot of times when I do shamrocks and bow ties, I do them with the one stroke technique. But for the purpose of this class, I like to keep it simple. I do teach you guys a little bit of one stroke here and there. But I want you guys to feel confident and happy with your work. So I try and keep these ones as simple as possible. If you want a little bit more of advanced art lessons, you can, and one stroke, you can sign up for my workshop, or even I'm going to be offering some paid classes starting in March. Okay? I have the perfect design picked out, and you guys will be the first to know. So anyway, so what do you guys think so far? Let me turn you guys around. So if you are painting along, or even if you're not, you can see where we're at. Okay, so I have taken Patina and Ocean View, two little blues, two light blues, and I've done the entire background. I know you can see brush strokes, but I'm going to go over that. The one green is acting a little weird, okay? And then I painted in all the background for the hat and the bow tie. If you have any questions, feel free to pop them in the comments. If you're watching on the replay, I would really, really appreciate it if you guys put #replay. And there it is. That's what we're painting in March for one of my Zoom classes. So let me grab it. We're going to be doing this cutie. I'll be doing an Easter one in March for you guys in the free group, but we're also going to be doing this cutie via Zoom. So I can't wait. I'll be posting about that very shortly. Anyway, back to where I was. So, how is everyone? How is the weather by you? The weather here has been cold and yucky. I'm just going over my hat a little bit because I didn't like the brush stroke so much. Okay? Oh, no, that's it. Okay. You guys too, I thought I posted the tracer, like over a week ago. I remember downloading it. I remember writing the post. I don't know what happened, so I put it up tonight. So anyway, we are going to do a little one stroke. I am double loading this classic green. I'm using my dirty brush. I'm putting 1/4 in the classic green, 1/4 in the citrus green, and I'm getting my brush nice and loaded up with both colors of paint. So we want the dark and we want the light. And then I'm going to go in here, and you don't have to do this. You can paint traditionally. You can go in and you can base coat all your shamrocks. I'll show you down here. And then go in and add highlights. But for those of you who want to know, I'm showing you how you can do these shamrocks with one stroke. So that's one. I'm going to pick up some more paint. I'm putting my brush up here. I'm standing up on the chisel edge. Let's see if you can see. I'm standing up on the chisel edge. I'm going to push down. I'm going to come around the heart and stand up to a point. Then I'm going to do the other side. I'm going to push down and stand up to a point. Smooth out my brush a little bit over here in my runway. Pick up a little bit more dark, a little bit more light, and then come up in here, stand up, push, come to the point, and then do the other side. Push, oh, put the dark on the wrong side, push, come to the point, and stand up. I have to fix that one because I did not line up my colors right. Sometimes I like when I mess up with you guys because then I show you, you know what? Not a big deal. I just grab the right colors and fix it. And this is why I said it's important, even though we could have went in and done the whole top with green and filled in our shamrock. We didn't, because you can see the difference. Same exact colors. But in the one, I did my brush strokes horizontally for the hat. And then for my shamrocks, I did a little bit of one stroke, and they really stand out. You can see that. If you're afraid, oh, I want to do that one second. I'm going to do the pig first. I'll show you how to do those shamrocks when we get to them. We're going to work on the pig now a little bit. So I'm going to wash my brush really, really well, and I'm going to give it a squeeze in the paper towels because I don't want any drippy water coming out of my brush. I'm a little tongue-tied tonight, aren't I? Let me get out the baby pink. Put a little bit out. There we go. And I'm going to start painting in my pig. And then this ear. I'm hopping around a lot because I want my green to dry. My green over there is a little wet, so I moved over to this ear. When you're painting your art, you can do it however you want. If you don't like hopping around and you want to be patient and wait for each section to dry, you go right ahead. I'm just outlining and base coating the pig with this baby pink. I'm going right over his nose or his snout and his eyes. It's okay if you get a little bit on the shamrock because we're going to paint over that. I'm not painting the whole thing, but if you do happen to get a little bit on the shamrock, that's okay. The green will cover that right up once the pink is totally dry. This design is great for kids too. And this design is good because if you're not into pigs, let me see, is this gonna make a difference? Nope. If you're not into pigs, there we go. You can use the shamrock and the top hat idea on any animal you want, or you can use the shamrock or the bow tie that I'm teaching you on a different painting. So it's up to you. It's nice to look at these things and how they work for you and your creative journey and what you want to paint or what you like or don't like, right? Maybe you have an aversion to pigs. You'd rather paint a cow. Go ahead. Paint a cow with a top hat and a shamrock. Right? Nobody says you can't. So again, I'm doing a little bit of double loading. And I want to come in here and I want to add some shading to areas of my pig's ears. And I do that by putting the dark to the outside and keeping the light pink to the light pink. And now I just have a little bit of dark on my brush on the corner of it, and I'm just going to add a little bit of shading down here to the pig's chin. Okay. I'm going to move a light. That's a little better, right? Yep, I dimmed it a little bit. That's a little better. You guys can see much better now, right? Okay. Let me know if that works better for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now I'm going to go back to my other shamrock, and I'm going to show you how you can do it. I'm just going to come in here at my brush, and I'm going to paint them all dark, filling in the entire shapes with this dark green. Yeah, for some reason, you guys, this Kelly green, this classic green, is very weird, and it's being very streaky. Classic green. It's not working for me. So I'm gonna get out a little bit more of this dark stuff, the thicket. Then I'm gonna fix the mess I just made. Okay. There we go. And I'm just filling all this in. Still using my brush strokes in the shape of the hearts for each leaf, petal, whatever you want to call it, of the shamrock. I would love to know if you're painting with me. Don't be shy. And then even if you would share your artwork with us in the group, that would be awesome. So I'm just smoothing out my brush strokes a little bit. And now I'm just going to pick up a little bit of the light and add it in to the middles, following the shape of the shamrock. Okay. Again, I will pick you up. There we go. So, this is what we have so far. We did our background. We base coated our hat and our bow tie in 2 different greens. Then I showed you a little one-stroke technique for doing this shamrock. And then I just did this shamrock with dark and then went in and added some light highlight. Then we did the pig and added some shading to his ears and his chin. And that's where we are if you want to take a screenshot or check it out. That's where we are so far. So, washing my brush. I'm going to give it a squeeze. And I'm going to do the hat band. And see, so here I got a little crooked with my green before, but I'm not going to worry about it because now I'm just taking the black and I'm going right over it. And the black cleans up any part on the green that maybe we weren't happy with. So if you didn't like your line, it wasn't straight enough, you come in here, and as we work on our painting, it gets fixed. That's why I always tell my painters, trust the steps, just keep painting, be patient, let it dry, because you let it dry, then you can fix just about anything. And I'm just using about a 1/2 inch flat brush here for this. Okay. Now I'm going to clean that and we're going to let that dry a little bit. So really the only thing you need for this is a liner brush and a flat brush. This is about, like I said, about a 1/2 inch. You could use one a little bit bigger if you wanted to. But there's not a lot of colors in this, and there is not a lot of brushes involved. So I'm mixing up a little bit of a darker color for his snout, and all I did was put some of the pink and the magenta on my brush, and I'm going to go in here, I'm going to fill in his snout, which you can still see. Sometimes when you're mixing paint, you never know if you mixed enough. But if your paint is wet and you have to mix more, you just have to blend it in a little bit more, because sometimes your new batch, your new mix doesn't match your old mix. But that's okay. It's all okay. It's art. It can't be wrong, right? That's what I used to tell my kids all the time. It's art. It can't be wrong. So we did his snout. And that was just a tiny little bit of the 2 pinks. I mixed them right here just to get a darker color. And there you have it. Now that my greens are really dry, I'm again going to do a second coat on my bow tie. See if I can get rid of those brush marks. Yes. Yeah, there must be something wrong with this green. I'm going to get rid of it. This one. And I like this comes down a little bit here, so I'm just right on the edge like a skateboarder. Not really, but. There. And then again in here, I'm just doing a little bit of a knot in his tie. I'm gonna come up in here. So you guys won't have to do this. Hopefully your green worked better than mine. And you won't have to be going back over your hat again like I am. So you can fast forward through this part if you're watching me on the replay. Or if you're live and painting with me. Just keep painting. It's all good. Much better. That was bugging me. Sorry, y'all. Okay. Let's get out a little bit of yellow. Now I could use gold for this. And you can use gold for this. It's totally up to you. I'm going to use yellow. I usually use yellow underneath my gold anyway, because the gold tends to be very translucent. We need more paper towels. But you can either paint it in yellow, you can paint it in gold, you can paint it in green if you want. Your art, your way. I'm going to pick up some yellow and go in here and make my buckle yellow. It'll probably need 2 coats. I could use a smaller brush, but I'm not. I'm being lazy, and I'm just using this larger brush, but on the chisel edge, which means to stand the brush up. So I don't get as much brush strokes in there, and I can cover it better. There we go. Now I'm just taking the yellow again, and I'm adding a little bit more yellow highlight inside of the shamrock. And I'm going to pick up green, total green. I'm going to pick up a little bit of black and mix it in there because I want this green to stand out. And I'm going to put a stem on that shamrock. And I'm going to put a stem on this shamrock that he's holding in his mouth. And I want it to stand out, so I did it with a little bit of black in my green. I could have done it in all black. So here we go. I see these so cute already. So cute already. So cute, if I must say so myself. Anyway, okay. So let's get back to it. So I got on my liner brush now. Put this brush aside. And I'm going to start adding in some details. Now I could have drawn these in from the sketch, traced them on, but I'm going to wing it. So I'm going to go with little eyebrows. Okay. I'm going to paint these little circles for his eyes. Now when I trace, I've mentioned this before, and I'm doing elements like this, I tend to trace them smaller than they are, because when you start painting, things start to grow and get bigger. So like for his nose, nostrils, and on his snout and his eyes, when I trace them in a little bit smaller than they are on the tracer, because I know once I start to paint and I'm like, oh, that's not even, oh, that's not even, oh, that's not even, I eventually have eyes this big, and you don't want that. So I will then, let's give him little eyelashes. That's why I have learned, and I'm sharing this tip with you, when I do facial features or some small little details, I will always trace them on smaller and just use that for a placement and a guide. Do some eyelashes. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now I'm just going to do a little bit of light outlining while we wait for our eyes and stuff to completely dry. So I can go in and add the little pupils. And I'm doing this very light. You want to be as light as can be. If you have to practice a little bit on some scrap paper, go right ahead. I might add a little drip of water to my black, make it a little bit more inky. I'm just doing the basic shapes. Does not have to be perfect. Doesn't have to follow the line exactly. I just want to do some little shading. Okay. And I'm going to go back and I'm going to do the same thing now with some white. And again, using my liner brush, my white got a little thick, so put it in a little tiny bit. All I do is put the very tip of the brush in some water and give it a little mix on the edge here. Okay? And then we're just going to start adding a little bit of highlight. Oops. Oops. Stuck it in my yellow. Move a clean spot on my white. And again. Just following the basic shapes. I'm going to take the back of my brush, dip it in, and I'm going to give him one pupil and two pupils. Oops. So there you go. Isn't he cute? Now I could add more highlighting. I might add a little bit of decoration around the border, which is always cute. It's very simple. I'll show you guys how to do that. And isn't he cute? I love him. There we go. So again, I'm going to take the back of my brush. I'm just going to go in here and I'm going to add dots every so often. It just dresses up the background and gives your background a little bit of a unique look, so your background isn't so plain. But that's also why we use more than one color sometimes. Now, see, I got a little something on here. You guys can't see that, but I can, and it was bothering me. So I, instead of being like, oh, no, I have to fix that. Nope. I just came in, and that's where I put some dots over that. If I was painting a floral design, I would add a leaf. That's it. It's paint. You can fix anything. Okay. And now I'm going to, with the magenta, I'm going to start adding a little bit of a colorful border to this. And when I do these things, I don't measure. I just split everything in half. So I do the two ends, and then I do in the middle without measuring. I just eyeball it. Then I go in the middle of those. And I go in the middle of these. And then I go in the middle of these two, in the middle of these two, in the middle of these two, in the middle of these two. And it does not have to be perfect. And I'm going to change brushes. Get out some white again. And I'm just going to go in here and put little tiny white stripes between each of my thicker magenta stripes. And it just gives it like a fun side. And I'm just going to do that around my entire picture. So I do one end, the other end, then I split the middle, then I split that and that. And I think in this case, if I did more magenta ones, it would be too much. Everything would start getting squishy. So instead, now I'm just going to add the white here. I'm still following the pattern, but because the top and the bottom are smaller, I don't add as many as I did on the long side. And yes, I have my brush in my mouth. Get my white. Okay. And then last but not least, I need a little bit more magenta. we'll do this end too. So I do one end, two ends, the middle, and then a split. And you can even, we can do the dots on the sides like we did on the front for the background. You can do X's, you can leave it alone, you can do whatever you want. It just looks kind of cool, I think, sometimes when it's hanging on the wall to see it from an angle. Especially if it's something holiday like this that's only going to be up for a little bit of time. You're not worried about it. It's completely matching your decor. You could be a little bit more fun and whimsy with it. So when you see it on the wall, it looks fun. Right there. Oh. Oh, I messed up. There we go. So, there we go. There he is. And here is the edge. Isn't that cute? So, turn that off. So, anyway, thank you for joining me, you guys. Oh, right on time. I love when I'm on time. It was great seeing y'all. If you're watching on the replay, please come back and put in hashtag replay when you watch. Let me know if there's something that you want to see me paint. That would be great. I'm always looking for more ideas, and I'd love to paint a suggestion of yours or something that you've been wanting to learn that I can share with you. And don't forget, if you want to learn one stroke, the workshop is open. You have another till tomorrow night to sign up. And this design, it's 4 zooms, and each element has its own worksheet. We will learn sunflowers. Oh. We will learn the sunflower, 5-petal flower, the daisy, the heart leaf, the wiggle leaf, and the one-stroke leaf. So if you want to learn to paint, and you want to take a skill and maybe kick your artwork up a little bit, it's the Creative Painters Workshop, and I would love to have you. And the sign-up's closed tomorrow night because we got to get started painting. So, like I said, it's 4 Zooms, but if you can't make 1 or 2, that's fine too, because you get all the recordings to watch and rewatch as much as you want. So, anyway, thank you all, and then don't forget, next month, this is not going to be in this group. I am going to be offering this payment on Zoom, offering this painting on Zoom, and we will also be doing something else springy in this free group. I'll be posting it very soon. So let me pick you guys up. Thank you. Have a great night.